Okay, I want to show you an alternative for getting a great view out the windows when you're having trouble doing it with lighting. What I'm going to do is show you how to do that with Photoshop Elements, and I'm using Photoshop Elements 9 on the Mac, but this works pretty much the same on the PC. And Photoshop Elements is a great little version of Photoshop that's got 90% of what Photoshop has for about $79. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take one shot with the interior exposed. That's this one, and then we're going to take a second shot where we're going to expose. And this is done on a tripod. So these shots are exactly the same. Or you could do this from a single raw file. Open one, adjust it for the interior, open it again, adjust it for the windows. In fact, I've done the second approach here with this one, since this is a photo I took a really long time ago. Um, so anyway, what we're going to do, we're going to start out by, we're going to drag the interior photo for here in the bottom uh, over the top one. That tells Photoshop Elements to create a second layer. So over here on the right, we've got the layer palette that shows the top layer is the interior shot, and if we turn that off, we see that the layer underneath is one of the windows. And so basically what we're going to do is we're going to select and make a mask for these windows so that the windows from the lower layer show through. And here's the way you do that. You could just select these and erase them, but there's some benefits to not doing it that way, and I'll point that out to you a little later. So for example, here's what we're going to do. We're going to use the polygonal lasso tool. That's, for most of this work, it's going to be the quickest. So you go up here and you click on and hold on this lasso tool here, and you'll see there's three, and we want the bottom one, which is the polygonal lasso tool. So we select that one, and what we're going to do is you click in the corner and then let up, and you go to the next corner and you click again, and you just create a polygon, and you click in each corner, and when you get back to the beginning, you'll see a little O. The plus will or the right next to the polygon will be a little O, and when you click that, that means it's completed, it's complete polygon. Now when you hold the shift key down, you can make add another selection to that. So we can add the second window. We click in each corner and do the same thing, and there's that window. Now this window is a little more difficult. In fact, I'll point out the three different situations we've got here. We've got this plant is sitting in front of the window. It's going to be not too difficult to select because we could actually go around there with the polygonal lasso tool, and we could also do it a little faster with the magic wand. I'll show you how to do that. This over here, this chair and this whatever this thing is sitting in front of the window, that's not too bad either. We can handle that with the polygonal lasso tool. These plants over here are going to be really nasty. In fact, this is a case where you want to be thinking ahead when you shoot this and look and see. Now, for example, this plant is almost the same color as the tree in back of it. It's going to be a real tough to select that. I should have moved this off to the right here and just got it out of the way completely. In fact, if I would have shoot this again, I would have just moved all this stuff out of the way. Maybe this plant completely out of the photo, because it doesn't add that much. But we got to deal with it here now since it's there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go do the polygonal lasso tool for part of it, and when I get down here, I'm going to not try and select the detail. I'm going to leave that for later, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, and that's selected. Now we'll select this last window here in this direction, and this first part's pretty easy, and we're going to rough this one out like that, and then we're going to go up and use the magic wand. Okay, if you hover over that, you see there's the magic wand tool. You select that guy. Now there's a tolerance, and the default tolerance is 16, and or excuse me, 32, and I've got mine to set half of that. I got it set at tolerance, and that kind of controls the magic wand. So you see what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click right in here, just click, and bam, that just figures out exactly where that is and adds that selection. So that's a nice little feature. And but you'll notice when I go over here and try that same technique on this plant, it can't deal with it because these values are so close in here that I think even if I add to that, it's going to have a problem. So I'll show you how to deal with that in a little bit. Now here's the key. Once I'm not going to do all this selection yet. I'll show you more of a final one. But if we have all these windows selected, now here's what we do when you get them all selected and you want to create a layer mask, is you come up here under selection and you click inverse. So instead of now the windows being selected, it's selected everything but the windows. And then you come down here and you notice you hover over this little dot here at the bottom of the layers panel. It says add layer mask. So when we click that, bam, we get a mask. Here's the mask that's added to this top layer. And in the way a mask works is if there's black, you'll be able to see through to the next layer. If there's white, you won't be able to. So you can see here how just the windows have been made black, and you can see now. You'll notice that this isn't exactly how we'd like to have it. I mean, there's some errors here, but we can deal with that, because if we zoom in, we'll zoom in here a little bit. For example, let's go down here this lower section, and if we use the paintbrush, you'll notice if we have it set to black, which says show through, and we paint black on there, we can go along and refine this where we haven't got it perfect, and any of these areas where we like to refine. Now if we go like this, we go too far, we go over here and switch and paint in white, and we get it back. So this is a nice way to be able to go through and refine it. When you've got a mask, you can paint in white so you can't see it, and paint in black so you can see through. So we're going to use this technique to we'll set black, and we'll come in here and we'll notice, and we can kind of do this by hand, and we can do this pretty well. Of course, would have been much better if we would have just moved that plant out of the way, but you can see here that we can